nice animal antics.
Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing a rehouse. It's for the Antilles Pinktoe, or otherwise known as the Caribena Versicolor. It's a really popular tarantula. You'll see why. It's got lovely colours on it, very docile temperament, just a lovely all-round tarantula. It's the second one that I actually got. My daughter called it Enid, which is off a character from the Wednesday series. Just because she's bright and colourful, and obviously this tarantula is also very bright and colourful, as you will see. It's going up into this enclosure here, which is an Exoterra 20 by 20 by 30, and I'm upgrading it from an old spider shop, one of the cylindrical enclosures that it's been in since it was a juvenile. So yeah, if you like the video, please like and subscribe, and onto the video. So here's the enclosure, and as I said, it's an Exoterra 20 by 20 by 30 Arboreal. I'm just opening it up now to get a bit of easier access to the enclosure. And here I'm just popping in some coarse filter sponge, which I've already cut to shape, so it's just a 20 by 20 square. Just pushing it down in there just to make sure it covers the bottom layer. This will act as my drainage layer rather than clay balls. Here I'm just adding my weed barrier. Again, it just goes over the top of that sponge. It just stops any of the substrate getting into the drainage layer. Now for the actual substrate, I'm going with the ProRep Spider Life this time. I do normally mix my own substrate, however I had a bag of this and I thought, why not give it a go? It's just sat there and open for a while. Actually, I do quite like this. It's got a nice consistency, seems pretty decent substrate. Just making sure that there's more of the substrate at the back so it gets that gradient, draws the eye. And even though it is an arboreal tarantula, it's still nice to have a bit of substrate. It would help with the moisture levels. Onto the hardscape now. So I'm just using cork bark. I think I'll go with a couple of pieces in the end. Just putting these in a nice position up close against the glass so that the tarantula can get behind and feel secure. And then packing in that substrate all around again so it seems pretty secure in there. Here we come with the second piece. Again, as I said previously, it just gives a couple of options rather than the one. And I do actually put some plants in there in a minute, which gives even more options. And she's actually decided to web behind the plant, which is typical, but you'll see all that in the end. Now this is a lovely mossy branch. Again, just to give some more climbing opportunities. So just get this out the back of my house, basically. I've got a little woodland area, which I'm pretty lucky with. There's loads of moss out there, branches, rotten wood, you know, all that sort of stuff. So I do try and incorporate these in quite a lot of my enclosures, and I'm obviously lucky to have that option. Just added another mossy twig here. Now this part does actually change because you'll notice I have to take this part down just because of the fact that I put these twigs in and branches, and then I realised that I've got a plant and I've got a philodendron that I'm going to pop in that back left corner, and I couldn't get the roots in with that stick there. So this is why I've just moved it out of the way, and I'll find a better place for it in a bit, or a place that I think it looks a bit better. But yeah, just popping in the plant here, packing it down, making sure all the roots are nice and secure in there. Here we are again, back with the mossy stick, just trying to put it out front. The hope is that she'll obviously sit on this, However, at present she isn't, but then she's only just gone into the enclosure, you know, a few days. So hopefully in the future, that'll be a nice little perch for her to sit on and can make the most of viewing her. Now we're just popping in a nice pink Fittonia at the front of the enclosure. Gives it a nice pop of colour, and it ties in with the tarantula's colours, I think, a little bit. So yeah, it's just that added extra feature. It's more for aesthetics than for the tarantula, just to make the enclosure look a little bit more vibrant. And again, there's some moss going to help with humidity. This is just picked from the woods out the back again. It's quite a nice green moss in there. Just keeps that moisture locked in the substrate. And then finally add in the other mossy twig. I've put it again down this side. Just creates a bit more of a climbing area, and hopefully, like I said, encourages her out onto that area in the future. Time for the water bowl, which is just a milk bottle cap, which is glued up high with a hot glue gun. Learned this from watching Dave's Little Beasties channel, and it works an absolute treat, to be honest. Here we're just giving the whole enclosure a good mist down, just to get some humidity and some water in there, and filling up the water bowl as well. Right, and now we're coming on to the actual rehouse. That's the old container that I had her in, which is one of the Spider Shop cylindrical ones, I believe. It's been absolutely great for me. She was sort of grown on sling in there. She's probably juvenile-ish now, but she's got her adult colours anyway. And yeah, she's absolutely loved it in there, but as you can see, it's completely webbed up, and I couldn't believe actually how tough this web was trying to get it open. It really is pretty thick. And there's the first little glimpse of her. The camera doesn't pick up the colours here, but you'll see her a little bit later on, and she really is a lovely tarantula. So I'm just trying to get the entire lid off here and see if I can coax her out. There's a little bit of cork bark that she's actually on, so I want her to remain on that and then try and transfer her over. So there we go, managed to get the lid off now, and I'm just going to try and pull back some of this web and then help her walk up into her new enclosure. And last little tug. As you can see, it's really thick web. I mean, she has been in there for a while, so she's properly, really seriously webbed it all up. And here we go. I'm just going to use the end of the tongs just to touch her ever so gently on the back end. And yeah, as you can see, she just literally just walks out nice and slowly, not even bothered, to be honest. And she's starting to move out on herself now, just as I'm trying to remove a bit of the web, but I realise it's not really going to come away, so just touched her slightly, there we go. And she's starting to come. A little bit more. And then one last touch practically does it. I think she does like a little tiny jump here. There we go. And she's in. So easy. Beautiful tarantula. Really, really like them. So after being in the water bowl for a bit, she moved over onto one of the sides and stayed in this position for a while. And then she was out the back and she just started walking over the back, having a little mooch around like they do. Just getting used to a new enclosure. So there we go, that's the first rehouse done on the channel. Really easy rehouse, lovely tarantula, great colours, even though they didn't quite come through on the video. However, let me know what you think. Potentially next few videos are going to be a couple more tarantula rehouses. I've got a Brazilian red and a Dominican purple that both need rehousing, or I might go through my chameleon gecko enclosure build and let you know the setup there. But drop a comment, let me know which one you'd like to see, and thanks for watching guys, take care.